Hello, Sammy. Hello, she. Thank you, lady. Yeah, I haven't played drums on a live stream in a long time. They told me that they're working on the... Ooh, do you guys notice a camera problem? What was that? That was weird. Did you guys see that? The camera problem? Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, what was that about? Yeah, there it is again. Strange. I do have a YouTube channel. It's right here. Okay, so hello, Jonathan, over there in my YouTube channel. And I don't know why the stream is blinking. I might have to restart and come back. I hope not. Yeah, something's weird. Let me get a video of this so I can try to tell Hello Talk what's going on. Strangeness with the camera today. Why is my camera blinking? Sometimes, for no apparent reason. There it is. Yeah, strange glitch. Strange glitch. Let me get one more example of it. Come on. Flip out. No? Not going to do it anymore? All right, good enough. Oh, there it is. All right, good. Now I can show Hello Talk. Okay, hello, Lillian. Where am I? I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello, Lele. I should include them all in one place. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea, Lele. Maybe I'll try to see if I can organize my YouTube channel a little bit better to put all the streams that are of the same type in the same place. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. Okay, so today we are doing etymology. Welcome to my live stream. Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. Many of you have seen me many times. I've been on Hello Talk for more than, well, I thought it was more than 12 years, but it's more than 11 years. It's almost 12 years. So ignore the camera problem today. I don't know what the problem is with the camera today. Let me send them this message just to tell them what's going on. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yeah, it does blink. I don't know why. Just ignore it. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a big problem. I'm just going to pretend it's not happening. All right, so we're going to talk about etymology today, everybody. What is etymology? Etymology means the history of where words come from, right? Words come from many places. Ooh, that is going to drive me crazy. I don't think I can handle this. Maybe I do need to leave and come back. Let me try doing that. Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to try to just leave the room and come right back. Okay, I'm not going to end the stream. I'm just going to try to leave and come back and see if it makes a difference. So just please wait 1 second. Okay, don't go anywhere. All right, I'm back. Now let's see if the camera is still freaking out. It seems to be maybe it's okay. Yeah, okay, good. I think we're good now, maybe. All right. So we're talking about etymology today. Etymology. What is etymology? It means the history of where words come from. Why should you learn etymology? Because, well, one, it's kind of fun, I think. Two, it's interesting. Many of the stories that you find about where words come from are interesting stories. And a lot of you ask me, how can I remember the words better? Every day somebody asks me, how can I remember vocabulary words better? This is a way to remember them better. Okay? And so I'm going to show you some of this today. We're going to talk about a bunch of different words. All right, let's see. Are you guys ready to start? Okay, cool. Let's get started. So we're going to start. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you my favorite etymology website. Well, first I'm going to show you my website here. Take a look at this, guys. Today, I'm going to show you an etymology website, but if you want to go to the etymology website, you can find it on my website. Here is my website here, right? A Friend in Every Corner English Coaching, right? There I am. And if you go up here to the menu and you go over here to resources, go to resources, click on resources, and now look at this, Teacher Mark's top English resources. If you want to study reading or writing or listening or speaking or grammar or vocabulary, go here and click on one of these, right? So if you click on vocabulary, look at that. There's the resources for studying vocabulary. And the second one on the list is Etym Online. And if you click on it, it does open to Etym Online, Online Etymology Dictionary. Okay? And today we're going to start with a word that we're going to celebrate tomorrow, which is the word Valentine. Valentine. Chuck, I don't know why you hate yourself so much, but don't hate yourself so much, dude. Life's too short to hate yourself. Okay, so let's look at this word, Valentine. We're talking about Valentine's Day, right? It's tomorrow or today for some of you, right? Or I think, yeah? No, it will be today for some of you soon. So let's see. Valentine comes from the 15th century, right here, mid-15th century, and it means a sweetheart chosen on St. Valentine's Day. Okay, and it comes from the late Latin word Valentinus. And so, where does that come from? So the word Valentine is related to the word valence. Do you guys know this word? Let's look at that word. So, valence is a word that when we talk about it today, it's not a common word. It's a science word mostly, right? So in chemistry, when you combine elements with other animals, other atoms, not animals, atoms. When you combine elements with other atoms, that's valence chemistry, right? But the original meaning is a herbal medicine, medicinal preparation. And so it actually comes from the word that means strength. It means strong. It means powerful. So it's kind of interesting how did the word that means powerful become the word that means Valentine? Like, something like a sweetheart, right? How did that happen? It says the choosing of a sweetheart on this day originated in the 14th century as a custom in English and French court circles. So in the English and French courts, they would choose a sweetheart on this day, February 14th. Okay? And let's see. And it says the date was an informal first day of spring. It was a informal first day of spring. So, yeah, weird. That one's weird. That one doesn't really necessarily make that much sense unless you say, like, it's a strong feeling of love, right? Maybe, right? On Valentine's Day, you choose a sweetheart. That's a strong feeling of love for someone, maybe, Well, I guess what I would say is sometimes with words, you have to kind of guess the meaning, like you have to infer the meaning. Yeah. So, but it's a romantic association now, right? All right. Anyway, that's that word. Let's try another word. Who else wants another word? Give me a word and we will talk about where it comes from. Can I tell you about the etymology of pardon my French? Well, that's funny. If I would have to guess, I would guess it comes from the 1970s or 1980s, but let me check. Oh, wow. No, this is really much, much older than I thought. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so pardon my French. What does pardon my French mean, everybody? Now, when I say pardon my French, it's something that I'll say after I say some bad words, like curse words. Okay? So if you say some curse words, then, you know, you might say, pardon my French, right? Now, why are curse words French? What's the association between those? Yeah, it means excuse my language, but there's a reason why. So, it was originally used in England, this phrase, pardon my French. It was used in England when you were speaking to somebody who didn't have the social understanding to speak French, to understand French. So there was a time period in England when the rich people, the aristocrats, they spoke French. Yeah, they spoke French. French was the language of the rich people at that time. And so if you were talking to a poor person, they didn't speak French, right? And so if someone was trying to speak French, pardon my French, excuse my language, right? Yeah, pardon means to excuse, right? To forgive, to forgive. And then, because the French and the English were fighting all the time, right? The French and the English, they went back and forth and fought all the time. So there was a time period when nobody in England liked the French, right? Everybody in England was against the French. So everything that was considered low and bad was called French, right? Anything that was low or uncouth was considered French, right? Low behavior. So the non-literal use of pardon my French or excuse my French was first recorded in 1901. So before 1901, pardon my French really did mean excuse my French, it's not that good. But then it became something that's like a joke because the French language is difficult to speak. At least I think it's difficult. And so sometimes when, you know, when I try to speak French, it just sounds like nothing. It sounds terrible. Nobody can understand it. So it might as well be curse words. I guess that's really what it means, right? Pardon my French. Yeah. So it's pretty old, that one. That's cool. See, I like that story. I like that story. I confirm French is difficult. Yes, yes. Oui. Okay, but c'est la vie, right, Jessica? C'est la vie. Okay, let's go on. Let's find some more words to talk about. Let's choose. We're going to choose a root word. Okay, we're going to choose a root word, and we're going to look at a root word. So the root word we're going to look at today is dis. Dis. Let's take a look at this here. Let me share my screen one more time. So here is the letters DIS in English. There are so many words that have DIS, right? And it's a word forming element of Latin. So it's a root word, okay? And it means not or a lack of, right? So dishonest, right? Dishonest, not honest, right? The opposite of disallow, so you don't allow it, right? To discard, right? To throw away, okay? So sometimes it means not, sometimes it means the opposite of, and sometimes it means away, okay? So let's look at some words here. There we go. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, okay, here we go. So we have dismiss. Here's the first one, dismiss. So, dismiss, what does dismiss mean? Right, dismiss. Dis means away. Right here, it means dis means away. And this word mittere is a Latin word that means to let go or to send. So when you dismiss someone, you send them away. That's what it means. Dismiss. Away, send. That's what it means. Dismiss, to send someone away. Okay? There you go. There's the first dis word. The next one is that there we go, disrespect. Disrespect meaning dis meaning not, and respect. Let's look at the word respect. Respect comes from the Latin word respectus, which means to look at or regard, right? So when you respect someone, you look at them with like, oh, you're important. I'm looking at you, right? I need to look at you or look up to you, right? We regard you well, okay? And it really means the act of looking back at someone a lot. Like if you keep looking at someone, then it means that you care about what they think. You respect them, right? So it comes from the Latin word, let's see, respicere, which means to look back or consider, right? So you consider what they think. So disrespect means you don't look at them. You don't consider what they think. You don't consider what they think, right? Okay, let's see. Let's do some more dis words. How about distinguish? Distinguish. What does distinguish mean, everybody? Distinguish. Can you distinguish these two things? Oh, excuse me. To distinguish, to tell the difference. That's right. Yeah, to distinguish. So where does this one come from? So dis means apart. Apart. And stinguere. Stinguere means to prick. So this is a funny one. I want you to imagine that you are a baker. You're a baker. You have to make bread, right? So you make a lot of bread every day, and these 10 loaves of bread are going to Mr. Smith. These 10 loaves of bread are going to Mr. Smith, but these 10 loaves of bread are going to Mr. Johnson. Okay, so we have Mr. Smith's bread and Mr. Johnson's bread. And how can we make sure that they don't get mixed up? So this word here, stinguere, means to prick, which means to make like a little mark in them. So for Mr. Johnson's bread, you make a little mark in them to distinguish them. A little prick in them to make us so you can see, oh, these are different. So that's what it means, okay? So it means to tell them apart, we'll make a little mark in these to distinguish them. All right? Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah. And bread was the first thing that came to my mind, you know, because that's what we do with bread. That's one of the reasons they used to put designs on bread, right? Sometimes they have all these different designs on bread. Well, one reason to make a design on a bread is to make it look different than the other ones so that you can say this one is for these people and this one is for these people. Yeah. Okay. Flavia says, I just saw the word adamant in a reality show and you were happy because you knew what it meant. Yeah. And now you remember it's from Wolverine, right? Okay, so we've got distinguish, right? And there's another word here, extinguish. What does this word mean? It's a very different word, extinguish. So extinguish, ex means out, and stinguere here means to quench. So, let's see. Interesting. Okay, so, Let me think about that one for a moment. To put out what is burning. To wipe out. Obliterate. X out. To prick. Let me think. How could that work? To pierce. Oh, well, okay. Well, that works. Yeah. So I think the way it works here is, in this case, the word prick means to pierce, like you're stabbing something, right? And to extinguish, the original meaning means to get rid of, to wipe out. So the people were extinguished, right? It means like they were wiped out. And then we started using it to talk about things like fire, to put out the fire, to wipe out the fire, right? So you stab the fire. You stab it. You kill the fire. That's what it means. In this case, it means to kill the fire, to stab the fire. That's what it means. Yeah. All right, so there we go. How about some more dis words? How about this one? Discourse. What is discourse? What is discourse? This website is called etymonline.com. etymonline.com. And if you want to find this website, then you can go here to my website. Okay? All right, so discourse. What is discourse? Discourse means conversation, right? So the original meaning here means the process of understanding, reasoning, and thought. And it comes from the Latin word discursus, which means a running about or a conversation, right? So a running about means like you're talking about something and running with the ideas. You're running with the ideas. It's discourse, right? And it comes from the word that means dis, meaning apart, and currere, meaning to run. Well, that's interesting. To go over a subject and speak at length about it. So, yeah, it means like you're taking an idea and you're running with that idea as far as you can go. That's your discourse, right? That's what it means. Because originally, in the Latin, those are Romans, and the Romans were big admirers of the Greeks. And the Greeks used to argue and talk about things for a long time. That was discourse. They would take an idea and run with it to see how far can we take this idea. Let's talk about it until we can't talk about it anymore. That's discourse. Okay? Mona says, for my website, if people say they need to use a VPN, tell them to use Google Chrome browser. It has a new extension. You can add a VPN. That might work for some people, but I think the only people who have trouble with it are the people in China, and I don't know if they can use a Chrome browser at all. But that's a good idea for anybody else who has trouble with it. Because Chrome is Google, and Google is not in China. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next dis word. Let's look at some more dis words. There are many, many more dis words. Look, 336 entries. 336 dis words. Here's discontinuance, which comes from discontinue, right? Disorder, right? So let's do discontinue. What does discontinue mean? Dis means not, and continue. To continue means to keep going, right? Comes from the Latin word continuare, or continuous, which means to join together in uninterrupted succession. So it means to keep things joined and without breaking the succession, without breaking your process. You keep doing it. Yeah, one after another, right? And it means, let me see. It literally means to hang together, contain. Well, this one's interesting. To persevere in. Huh. Okay. Well, to continue. To discontinue means to not persevere, not keep going, right? All right. How about disorder? What does disorder mean? Ah, there's Tomas to help me with the Latin. Thank you for that. Tenere, right. Disorder. Disorder is chaos, that's right. So dis means not and order, right? So let's look at the word order. Order means ordinare, which means to regulate, right? To regulate, to make them in order, to put them in rows. That's what the word really means. The word order... Where's the noun form? That's the verb form. Oh, here's the noun form right here. So the word order comes from the Latin word ordinum, which means a row, right? Rows. So the word order means to make rows of things. That's what it means. So disorder means not in rows. That's what it means. So we've got disorder. Let's see, what other dis words do we have? Whoops, did I go too far? Dis. Why does it keep losing my dis words? Okay, so I just wanted you guys to see. Look how many words have dis in them. Discontinuance, disjuncture. Dissidence, disjunction, displease, dishonor. Oh, dissimilitude, that's a good one. Never you're going to use it, but it's a fun word to say. Distend, dissimilitude, discrepancy, dissuade, dispersion. These are all dis words, everybody. Distension, distemper. So this is a good way to increase your vocabulary. Melissa, we're talking about etymology. Etymology means the history of English words, and we're talking about all the words that have dis in them. Discoloration. Discoloration. There are so many words that have dis in them. Disparity. Dissonant. Disobey. Disobedience. There are 34 pages here. Dislocate, dissension, discount. Like discount. What does discount mean, everybody? What's a discount? What is a discount? Yeah, to cut off the price. So dis meaning not and count meaning to count. So you don't count this much of it, right? You take off 35%. That's your discount. That much is not counted. It's a take it off. That's the discount. Okay? So it just means, yeah, this part, we're not going to count this part. You pay for this part, but you don't have to pay for this part. It's a discount. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to open up the floor for open questions. Open questions. So give me a word. Give me a word, any word, and I will look it up and we'll find out where it comes from and talk about the stories or whatever we find. So give me a word that you want me to look up. Any word in English. Wicked. Ooh, that's a good one. We were just looking at that just a few minutes ago, or I was. Wicked is a word that comes from the word Wicca. Let me share this again here. So Wicked, right? This is the new movie, Wicked, right? And so where does this word come from? It comes from the word originally means bad or false, right? Wicked, bad, false. And it comes from the word Wicca, which means a wizard or witch. A wizard is a man who's a witch, right? That's a wizard. Witches and wizards, just men and women who do the magic, right? Yeah, this word wicked is, and it's actually related to the word wretched and wretch. So people who had magic or people who used magic were considered wicked. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. Okay, let's see. What's the next word? Who gave me another word? Culture. Okay, culture is a good one. Let's look at culture. The word culture comes from the Latin word cultura. Cultura, which means to cultivate. So this is about agriculture. It's about growing things, right? So to cultivate means to care for and grow things. So the word culture now is talking about the things in your community that you encourage to grow, right? Like your music and your art and your food. Those are part of your culture that you cultivate. You develop them, right? Like farming, okay? To cultivate. So the first time it was used that way was in the 15th century. It says it talks about learning and taste and the intellectual side of civilization, right? So yeah, culture is the things in your society that you develop, that you cultivate, right? Your food, your music, your fashion, your art, your whatever. Those are culture, okay? Your ideas. All right, what else do we have here? Hectic. Let's look at hectic. The word hectic, let's see, it comes from the old French word éthique, and let's see, from the Latin word hecticus, which comes from the Greek word hektikos, which means continuous or habitual. Wow, interesting. Let's see. Oh, hexis, habit of mind of body. So it says here, look, the use of the word was by Greek physicians, Greek doctors, and they used to think it was about the idea that a fever that you had in your body was like continuous. It was like you had a fever that was inside of you continually, right? So that's hectic, meaning a hectic fever. They used to, the first way that they talked about this word was talking about fevers, right? So it means like a bad fever that won't let go of you, right? It's a fever that continues. So rapid fever or hectic fever means rapid pulse, flushed cheeks, hot skin, and emaciation. So the sense meaning full disorganized activity, full of disorganized activities from 1904. So, look at that. So the original word for hectic is talking about a bad fever that won't go away. And the meaning now is talking about disorganized activity, because when you are you have a feverish desire for something, it's like you're crazy about something. So you act crazy. So you're hectic, right? So that's a good one. See, look, I think that's a cool story. That's a cool story. The original word is talking about a fever, but now we talk about it just means chaotic behavior, because if you have a fever, maybe you're acting crazy. Yeah. Can I say the meaning in one word, please? Yeah, hectic means chaotic. chaotic. Okay, and yes, Nikki, I am using HelloTalk on my computer, and then I stream that onto YouTube. All right, and speaking of my YouTube, let me make sure that they are there. They are good. Hello over there in YouTube. Okay, and let's see. Is the next word that I got asked was what? Let's see. Minuscule. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Minuscule. Let's look at minuscule. Minuscule comes from the French word minuscule, from minuscula, from the Latin word minuscula, minuscula litera, which means slightly smaller letters. Minusculus, rather less or rather small. So it's a word that it's related to the word minus. Look, there's minus in it. Minuscule, minus, right? The word minus is right there. And it's related to that word. Minus means less, right? So minuscule means something small, right? Interesting. So the original word was talking about small letters. Yeah, but then it just became a word that meant extremely small. Yeah, but it also is related to the word minus, because minus means less than, right? To make less than. Okay, what's the next word? Be patient. I'm trying to find all the words here. Astonish. That's a good one. Let's do astonish. Astonish. Astonish comes from the French word estonner, which comes from the Latin word externare. Ex means out, and tonare means thunder. Ooh, that's cool, right? Thunder. When thunder happens, it's astonishing. It means thunderstruck. Do you guys know AC/DC? They have a great song called Thunderstruck. And to be thunderstruck means to be astonished, because when thunder happens, it's a big, loud noise that shocks you. So that's where this word comes from. It means out thunder. Yeah. Yeah, the thunder has pushed you out, made you crazy, or stunned you, deafened you. Okay, that's a good one. Yuan, the word Gucci. Gucci is a family name from Italy, so I don't know if that has a meaning in English. Yeah, it doesn't, right? So Gucci is an Italian name. So you'd have to ask an Italian about that one. Why don't you ask Tomas about Gucci and whether there's a meaning there or not? Propaganda, Soba. Propaganda comes from the word propagate, meaning to spread around. So the word propagate we use when we talk about seeds. If you're farming, you have a bunch of seeds, you propagate them, meaning you spread them out to grow. Right? So propaganda comes from the idea that you spread information out to grow. Okay? Millennium, there's a good one. Millennia. Whoops. No, I want millennium. There it is. So millennium comes from the Latin word mille, which means 1,000. Right? And annus meaning year. So it means, the original meaning means 1,000 years. Right? Mille annus. Okay? So there you go. That one's an easy one. Okay, let's see. And is wicked now used more in a negative or positive sense? Tomas? Now it's usually used in a negative sense. When I was a boy in the 1980s, we used it in a slang word to mean awesome, right? That movie was wicked. That song was so wicked. You know, it might still be used in a positive sense occasionally now, but I don't think it's too common to use wicked in a positive sense unless you grew up in the 80s like me. So if you grew up in the 80s, maybe you still use the word wicked. Oh, that was so wicked. That was awesome, you know. But mostly I think the word wicked now is more its original meaning of bad. Yeah. Okay, let's see. You're curious about the etymology of the word alluring. Let's look at alluring. Alluring, allure, to have allure, right? So the word allure means to tempt or to be offered that something desirable, right? That's something that you want. Comes from the French word, the Anglo-French word allure, which means, so it's from French. Allure. Well, I can't pronounce French to save my life. To attract, to captivate, to train a falcon to hunt. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So this has to do with, ooh, oh, look at that. The falconer's lure. Very interesting. Let me see. So to lure. That's so al means to and lure means to entice. Right? To entice. So so allure, let me show you what allure is. Let's see. Stop sharing. One moment, everybody. There we go. Let me show you what allure is. Lure, falcon. I think it's this thing. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let me share my screen again. This is allure, everybody. This this thing here, this brown thing, is called a lure. And if you have a falcon like this, a falcon is a kind of bird. You need to bring the bird back to you. The bird will fly and catch something for you. It's a hunting bird. It will fly and catch something for you, and you have to get it to come back to you. The thing that you use to get it to come back to you is called a lure. A lure. So the word allure, now it means something that attracts you. Right? She has great allure, means she's very alluring, means everybody is attracted to her. Just like they used something to get the falcon to come back to you, to be attracted to you. Okay, so that's a cool one, Mona. It has to do with falconry. Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? Okay, let's look at a couple more words. Please be patient. I'm going as quickly as I can. My YouTube channel is right here. Okay, let's see. Mischievous. Mischievous. Let's look at mischievous. That's a good one. Huh? There it is. Mischievous. Let me share my screen. Mischievous. So mischief and us. So us means like that thing. So what is mischief then? Let's look at mischief. Mischief means an evil condition or a misfortune, a wickedness, right? So the original meaning means you have like an evil inside of you, right? But the word miss means badly, and chever means to happen or come to a head. So it means that you make things happen badly. That's what it means. Yeah. Interesting. To be full of mischief or to make mischief was just to do bad things. Yeah, that's what it means. Badly happen, badly do things. So there you go. There's mischief. Okay, what else do we have? Gorgeous. Let's look at gorgeous. Gorgeous comes from the French word gorgia, which means elegant and fashionable. So this word comes from, they're saying it, they think it comes from the French word, I think it's gorget, which means throat, because you used to wear a beautiful necklace and it's gorgeous. Oh, that's gorgeous. It's a beautiful thing on your throat, right? So the word gorge has two meanings. The verb meaning means to swallow, like to eat too fast. And why does it mean to eat too fast? Because the noun version means it's your throat. This is your gorge. Okay? So then we go back and we look at gorgeous. It means throat. So the beautiful necklace you wear on your throat is gorgeous. That's cool too, right? That's cool too. All right, let's see. What was the next one on the list? Be patient. I'm trying to go as quickly as I can. Morteza, you're in the wrong stream. I'm teaching about etymology today, Morteza. You have to come back on Friday tomorrow to ask me that question, okay? I'm not doing random questions today. I have a topic today, so I'm staying on topic, okay? You went to check Gucci. It's not clearly related to Italian words. It derives from Uguccio, the diminutive form of Ugo. Oh, okay, interesting. All right, but you know, it's funny because if you go far enough back in a name, names almost always do have some kind of a meaning, right? So I bet you if you go further back, Ugo probably does have some sort of a actual meaning, like some job or action. Some kind of a thing like that. Okay, the word aisle. Oh, I know this one. The word aisle is a good one. The word aisle is originally, it means a part of the church, right? So it was if you had the church, you have the main part of the church is here. This is the main part, the big open space in the middle, that's the church. But then on the side of the church, on the right side and on the left side, they had the aisle. And the aisle was a wing. It was like another little part of the church. That was the aisle. Those were the aisles. So now, when we talk about the word aisle, we're talking about the thing that you walk up and down in the store, right? We're walking up and down the aisles. But the original meaning, it's talking about these churches, let me see if I can show you what they looked like. I just saw a church like this. Yeah, just like this one. So look at this, everybody. This is a church. What is this? I don't want this. Next. Got it. Okay. So look at this picture of this church. Now, this is the main room. And you see these columns here and these columns here? On the other side of the column, that's the aisle. That's the aisle on the other side. So the aisle now means like a row where you walk up and down, just because that's the way it was in the church too. It was the place where you walked on the side up and down. Okay? So this area on the other side of the pillars is called the aisle of the church. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's do the next one. I'm almost caught up. Womanizer. Okay, let's look at womanizer. So woman, right? Woman is the original meaning of woman. Just it actually means Female. Yeah, that's all it just means is just female, right? So woofman, the original word was woofman. That's where we get the word wife. Wife, the original meaning of wife just means woman, actually. And so for this one, womanizer, let's see, where was it? Oh, there it is. Womanize. Okay, so so in this case, it means eyes is a word that means to make a verb, right? So it's something that you do. So in this case, womanizing means chasing after women, right? Chasing after women is what you do. Then you're a womanizer. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else is there? Affluent. There's a good one. Affluent. Or some people say affluent. Both are fine. Affluent. So this word comes from the Latin word affluentum, which means rich, copious. It literally means to flow. To flow, meaning like overflowing. Overflowing. Right? So if you have more than you need, it's overflowing, right? So affluent. Yeah. But the special sense that we use now, meaning with a lot of money, is from 1753. Okay, so the original word affluent just meant to have a lot of something. It didn't necessarily mean money, but now it means money. Okay. All right, let's see. And Morteza, no, it's okay. I'm really trying to stay on my schedule this year, but I do 10 live streams every week. So if you have questions, you just have to come to the right stream. That's all. Okay, it's just like classrooms, right? I have classes. I just want people to know what my class schedule is and then come to my classes. And by the way, let me show you my class schedule. If you go to my website, here is my website. If you go to my website, on the top of my website up here, you can click on schedule and you will see right here, this is my live streaming and voice room schedule. Okay, you can see every live stream I do, what time it's at, what it's about, so you can show up and know what to do, right? So the next English Q&A session is on Friday, February 14th. That's tomorrow, right? So, and by the way, this will show up in your time zone. All of the times will be in your time zone when you look at it. Okay, so if you sign up for my website, which is right here, then you can see my live stream schedule every week. And you can go here to resources. And I have all the resources you need to study reading, writing, listening, speaking, vocabulary, grammar. Everything is right here. So look, if you click on vocabulary, then you have thesaurus.com, etymonline.com, Wyzant Etymology, Language Guide English, Langgeek Vocabulary by Topic, and another vocabulary one. All of these are links that you can click on to open, to see, and practice, right? To study. So go to my website and you can follow me and you can see my schedule and you can study on my website. Okay? And yes, you can also buy private lessons from me as well. Okay? All right. Let's see. Let's go to the next word. We're almost... Okay, we've done 1 hour. We've got 30 minutes still. We're still doing pretty well. All right, let's go back and see the next word. The next word is algorithm. That one is from Arabic. That's cool that I'm glad you chose an Arabic one. Let's look at that now. Okay, so the word algorithm. So it's an Arabic system of computation. Okay, algorithme from the French. And before that, let's see, from the medieval Latin algorismus. which was a translation or a transliteration of the Arabic al-Khwarizmi. Al-Khwarizmi, which it meant a native of what is it? Khwarazm? Ooh, that's a hard one to say. Khwarazm, which is a place in Uzbekistan. So I guess maybe this is a place where the mathematicians came from, right, in Uzbekistan. And so that's also where we get the word algebra from Arabic as well, right? So somebody heard this Arabic word here, al-Khwarizmi, and they didn't hear it correctly, and it became algorithmus, and that became algorithm. Okay? And it means an Arabic system of numbers or math. What's the difference between woman and female? Well, you mean in terms of their definition? Nothing. One is more common and one is more... the word female and male is more like a scientific determination of like, this is, like female and male gender, right? Woman is just a more general term, Okay, let's see. The name Hugo, English hue, derives from the German hue that means mind to spirit. There you go. See, I told you, if you go back far enough, it always means something, Tomas. Okay. Thank you, David, very much. Thank you. And yeah, if you guys look at my schedule, if you go look at my schedule, you'll see that I do lots of live streams about many different topics, right? But if I'm here, then I am, I'm teaching, right? Oh, there we go. So Ozzy says Khwarizmi was a Persian mathematician. Well, there's your answer. There's your answer. So that's where we get algorithm from, was from this. They were trying to pronounce his name, and they heard something wrong, and they said algorithmus, and that became algorithm. Okay? Jia says, why do we study these vocabulary words? Because, Jia, English words come from many different languages. And if you find out where they come from, one, sometimes they have interesting stories which will help you remember the word. Two, if you find out where they come from, you can understand a little bit better how they spell things or how they pronounce things because it comes from that country, right? That will help you to remember spellings and pronunciations too, okay? So there are many reasons to study them. Okay, English words come from Latin, from Greek, from French, from Italian, from German, from Spanish, from Chinese, from Persian, from Arabic, from Hindi. English words come from many places. But yes, Jaja, this is not for beginners. Okay, this is not for beginners. This is for intermediate, advanced learners. Okay, but it is very useful. Today, it's a little bit difficult, but if you study this topic, you'll find that there are many, many, many interesting stories that happen. Okay? Okay, let's see. Chinese is not as extensive as English. Well, not exactly, Jack. Chinese has many, 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 many characters that are not often used. Right? Many, many characters are too old. They're just not common anymore, right? So they don't use them very often. And Chinese language tends to be a more direct language that almost always seems to use the most obvious words to describe things all the time. So in Chinese, when I see Chinese, I don't see anybody really worried that they're using the same word over and over again. Right? So, for example, let me think. So, for example, the word go, right? In English, there are many ways to say go, but in Chinese, almost everybody just uses the word 去, right? 我要去, right? 我要去商店. I want to go to the store, right? So, but you could say in English, you could say go, you could say move, you could say leave, you could say pass, you could say progress, you could say travel, you could say abscond, you could say, there are many, many ways to say go, right? So Chinese is very extensive, Len. 等我一下，听我，我告诉你。现在我教你, okay? I do know, 我知道. So Chinese is extensive, but the rule in Chinese is generally to always use the most obvious words. So that means that those words are always used again and again, right? But in English, we don't like to use the same word over and over again. So we always change to another word, right? So they're both extensive, right? But there's a more direct nature to Chinese language that doesn't worry so much about using the same words again and again. Okay? Yeah, we do. We love variety. That's exactly right. When we write, when we speak, we try to keep our words varied for more interest. Okay? All right? So, Chinese is very extensive. It's a very extensive language, but the culture of the language is a little different. It's more direct. It's more obvious. Usually. I said usually. Chinese literature is not the same, right? If you read Chinese literature, it can be varied. It can be very detailed and extensive. But if you read a Chinese newspaper, it's going to use the same words over and over and over again. So, anyway. Fabi says we like to change things. Yeah, right. Yes, there are lots of other languages that are a little bit more like that. We feel that it's, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's funny. If you use the same words over and over again in English, we think that means that you don't have a good vocabulary, so you're not that smart. So the amount of vocabulary that you have available to use, sometimes we feel that means you have, more knowledge or less knowledge. You're smarter or less smart, we'll call it. All right? So, but in Chinese, they don't have that same idea. I don't think anybody assumes that somebody is stupid if they just use the same words again and again in Chinese. Okay? All right. So, yeah, today we're talking about etymology, everybody. We're talking about etymology, means the history of where words come from. The history of where words come from. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Tomas. Yeah, there's a special flavor that you get from understanding the words more deeply. Not always. There are some words that when you find the etymology, many words, when you find the etymology, you're like, okay, nothing special. But there are many words that there's something very special that you can find. And if you find that special thing, now you're interested. It means you will learn it much more easily. You'll remember it much more easily. Okay? Okay. Привет. Why am I so great? I don't know. Ask my mom. Chinese can be freely combined to create new words. Again, Len, I feel like you're arguing with me. I didn't say it can't be. Okay, my ex-girlfriend is Chinese. She had this argument with me also. When we got this in the same exact argument, that I said English is a little bit more varied than Chinese, and she disagreed with me. And we talked about it, and eventually she did agree that in general usage, it's not very varied. There's not a lot of variety in the general usage of Chinese language. It means that there's a tendency, it's like math. They always want it to be in its simplest form, right? But again, if you write poetry or you write literature or you write science books or nonfiction, that's not the same thing. Now you do have just as much variety, if not more, than English. Okay? So understand, I'm talking about a cultural difference in the way that the language is approached, not the capacity or the lexicon of the language. Okay? If anything, I did say Chinese has many, many more characters than English has words, I think. I'm pretty sure. But those are rarely used. They're almost never used. They're old characters. All right, Rodney, you're looking for a question about pronunciation. You need to come back tomorrow to ask me questions about pronunciation. I have an open stream for any questions tomorrow. So if you have questions about pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, listening, speaking, whatever, right? Tell us something that isn't in Google. You think I'm looking all this up? OUS? You think I'm looking all this up? Ah, thank you so much, Athena. And you're a teacher too, so you understand what I mean. Yeah, anyway. But yes, Rodney, I'm sorry. I want to try to keep everything on topic now. This year, I'm really trying to keep all my streams on topic. Okay? So let's do another word. Give me another word for etymology. We still have about 15 more minutes, so give me another word for etymology, and I'll tell you where it comes from. Any word. Or if you want, give me a language. Give me a language, and then I'll tell you a word in English that comes from that language. Tsunami comes from Japanese. Yeah, it basically just means big wave in Japanese, if I remember right. Yeah, tsunami comes from Japanese, and it means, tsu means harbor, and nami means waves. So tsunami means harbor waves. That's the original meaning. Okay. Did I talk about affluent? Oh, I did. Yeah. Yeah, we looked at affluent before. If you want me to, I can do it again just for you. Affluent means... it means overflowing. Overflowing. So affluent now means overflowing with riches, right? You're rich, you're affluent. You have more than you need. It's overflowing. Okay? How about eloquent? That's a good one. Eloquent. Let me share my screen one more time. Eloquent, having the power of expressing strong emotions in vivid and appropriate speech. So it means you're a great speaker. You move people with your words. You're eloquent. It comes from the Latin word eloquentum, which means speaking or having the faculty of speech. So the original meaning of eloquent just means that you speak. It's funny. Now when we talk about the word eloquent, he's so eloquent means he's such a great speaker. He uses his words so well. He's eloquent. But the original meaning just means that you can speak. Eloqui means to speak out. Okay? Eloquence, eloquentia, eloquentum, meaning to speak out. That's all it means, is to speak. That's funny. Okay, there you go. Breakfast. Do I like the word breakfast? Sodabe, breakfast is a word that, what do you think it means? It has two words in it, break and fast, right? What is a fast, everyone? What does fast mean? Fast has two meanings. Fast has two meanings. What fast is it? What does fast mean? Yeah, so one meaning of fast is you're quick, and another meaning of fast is to not eat. To not eat, okay? So break fast If you're fasting, means you're not eating. Breaking your fast means you are eating. So breakfast was the first meal that you would have after not eating. Because a long time ago, people didn't eat 3 meals every day. We didn't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe you had 1 meal a day. If you were lucky, you had 2. Okay, but nobody had 3 meals a day 500 years ago. There are very few people eating 3 full meals a day 500 years ago. That's a modern thing, okay? So to break your fast means that night you went to bed and the next morning you usually went out to work and you finished your work and then you'd come in and then you would eat. So that would be the first meal that you had since the previous day. That was you broke your fast. Okay? You broke your fast. And it's funny because actually the word dinner also means the first meal of the day. And the word lunch means small midday meal. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Spanish. Somebody wants a word from Spanish. The word cafeteria. Rach, cafeteria comes from Spanish. So you know the word cafe. Cafe comes from French, right? A cafe is a small restaurant. But then the word cafeteria has a Spanish ending on it, the eteria ending. I'm using a website called Etymology Online, etymonline.com. Cafeteria. So teria means a place where something is done. Cafe means coffee, right? So, or coffee shop, coffee restaurant, coffee, coffee shop. So a cafeteria means a place where you get coffee. Okay? Now it means a place where you eat food, right? But the original meaning of cafeteria, it's a Spanish word, and it means a place to get coffee. Portuguese, let's see. English words from Portuguese. The word breeze. The word breeze. Breeze, B-R-E-E-Z. A breeze is like a, wind, some wind coming in the air is a breeze. That's a nice breeze. Ooh, I feel a nice breeze. That's a nice cool breeze, right? And it comes from the Portuguese word brisa, which means a northeastern wind. A northeastern wind is a brisa. Okay? There you go. All right. Kelly says, no, breakfast is the first meal of the day. Kelly, yeah, that's the meaning now. Yeah, 现在这是第一次的. Yeah, 第一次的. Right. 可是, a long time ago, breakfast meant the first meal that you have that day. But it doesn't mean in the morning. It doesn't necessarily mean in the morning. It means whenever you got a chance to eat. Extracurricular, no, that comes from Latin. Extracurricular comes from Latin. Let me show you extracurricular. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. There it is. Extracurricular. So extra means more than, right? Outside of, more than what is expected, right? And then curricular comes from the word curriculum, which, this is funny, it actually means a fast chariot. Let me see. Wait a minute. In reference to education pursued in addition to the normal course of study. Interesting. So curricular. So let's look at the word curriculum. Curriculum, which is, that's the study of school, right? So it comes from the word This is a hard one to explain. The word curriculum means a fixed course of study at college, university, or school. But the original meaning, it means to be able to run like a fast chariot. Yeah, meaning like you have abilities, you have skills. They've taught you how to run well. So what do you learn at school? They teach you how to do things well, like run well. Okay, so it's a kind of a strained meaning, but extracurricular means outside of school. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Morteza wants the word cleavage. Morteza, cleavage comes from the word cleave, meaning to cut in half. So that's because that's where it's cut in half, right? But Morteza, I don't know your words, man. Your words make me think not so good things about you. So careful about which words you choose to learn about. Masterpiece. Masterpiece means an amazing work, right? It's a masterpiece. So where does masterpiece come from? Master and piece. Piece meaning art, right? It's a great piece of art, right? And master meaning it was made by a master, right? So that's masterpiece. Okay. Fasting is still in Islam. Yeah, I know. Fasting is in every culture, not just Islam. I have friends that fast all the time for just health reasons, right? So yeah, fasting is not just in Islam, it's in every culture. Hello, Labin. Wa alaikum assalam. And they claim it's better to eat 2 meals. It is. It's better to eat when you need to eat. It's better not to think about 1 meal, 2 meal, or 3 meals. It's just better to think about like a bird. There's a little bit of food. I think I can eat it and then move on. That's actually the best way to do it. But whatever you want to do is fine. Eat what you want to eat. Life is too short. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Lynn says, I don't think I have a high level of English, but I understand every single word today, maybe because many of the words come from the same Latin root. Yeah. So, and I'm trying to choose words that have root relationships. And Lynn, because you speak Spanish, Latin is the root language of Spanish. So it means that there will be many words that you will say, oh, I think I recognize that in Spanish, you know? Traumatic comes from the word trauma, right? So let's look at trauma. Trauma is a Greek word. It means an injury, a wound, an injury, a hurt, a defeat. So it actually comes from the word meaning to turn, because what they used to do was after they stabbed you with a sword, they would twist it, which would cause the damage to be much, much more. Right? So trauma is when they would stab you with a knife or with a sword and then also twist it, which the word trauma means to turn. So you get stabbed and then it's turn. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. That's trauma. Okay? So it's traumatic. And Sodabe says French has a lot of words common with English. 60% of English words come from Latin or Greek. 30% of English words come from French. Okay. Exquisite. Okay. Exquisite. Exquisite is a word that comes from Latin exquisitus, which means the best choice. It means the most carefully chosen, right? And so ex means out and querere means to seek. So this word exquisite means you're looking at all of them and you're seeking out the best ones. Those are the most exquisite. Okay, so exquisite means the most carefully chosen ones, the most carefully picked ones, the best ones. They're exquisite. You're welcome, Muhammad. Paradigm, there's a good one. Paradigm. Paradigm comes from the Greek word, let's see, paradigma, which means a model or pattern. A precedent, an example. So paradigm, the original meaning in Greek means two things shown side by side, right? So it means a model for something, an example for something. This word actually is related also to the word pattern. The word pattern, what is a pattern? It's something that you can use as a model to make another one, right? It's a pattern. The word pattern comes from the Latin word pater, meaning father, because your father is a model for you. So the word father comes from the word pater, meaning a model for you, and the word pattern means a model to make another one, and paradigm means an example or a model of something. And it means two things side by side. It's a model, this one and another one. Okay? Admiral. Admiral comes from the Arabic word amir, meaning a military commander. So a long time ago, it was a Latin form of the word, of the Arabic word amir, admiral. Yeah. And it meant the amir was a Muslim military leader. Amiral de la Mer, commander of a fleet of ships. So yeah, it was like the highest ranking of a Navy officer. Amiratus. Yeah. So it was the original Arabic word amir, became admiral. Alchemy, also, yeah, those are all Arabic. That's right. Yeah, alchemy is another good one. I like alchemy. Alchemy comes from well, actually this one comes from Arabic, but it also comes from Greek. It's a mixture of Greek and Arabic. So the Arabic word is alchemia, but that also has a relationship to the Greek word chemeoa, which was which just meant alchemy. Chemeoa was alchemy, right? Which basically was like their form of science back then. You know, alchemy was science back in, a few thousand years ago. And it also is related to the old name of Egypt. The old name of Egypt is Kemia, which means the land of black earth, which is related to the Greek word kematos. Okay, well, that one's kind of interesting, I think. I do not know how to speak Filipino. No, I do not. Schizophrenia, that's a good one. Schizophrenia. So, schism is a word that means to break apart, to split. Okay? It comes from the Greek word schizein, meaning to split, and then phrenos, meaning your heart or your mind. So schizophrenia means your mind is split in two. That's what it means. Hello, Frank. Hola. Claustrophobic, that's another Latin word, also Greek. All the phobias are Greek Latin. Claustrophobia. So phobia is the Latin word meaning fear. Phobos, right? Meaning fear. And claustrum means a small space. It means a small space. So this is related to the word cloister. To cloister means to go spend time in a very small space, or away from people in a small space. Yeah. So claustrophobia means you're afraid of small spaces. Yeah, 60% from Latin and Greek. Latin and Greek. It's mostly Latin, but Latin comes from Greek, so, or a lot of Latin comes from Greek. Yeah, everybody always wants me to do that word, Arton. Pneumo, ono, ultra, microscopic, silico-volcaniosis. Yeah, something like that. But it's actually not as hard as you think, because it is just Latin. Pajamas, that's from Hindi. Pajamas is from Hindi. Pajamas, pajamas means loose trousers tied at the waist. They were worn by Muslims in India. So there were Muslims living in India, and they had these loose kind of pants that had a tie at the waist, and they were called pajamas. And so pajama literally means leg clothing or leg pants, right? And that's when we think of pajamas now, that's what we think of is loose pants that you wear at night. Okay? You thought you knew a lot about vocab, but now you've discovered you were mistaken. Well, that's true. There's a lot to know. There's a lot to know. Socialization. Socialization means the ability to socialize. Socialize means go out and meet people or be engaged with people. So socialization is the act of going out and being around people. Take care, David. Coupon, there's a good one. That's a French word. Coupon comes from the French word coupon, which means a piece that's cut off. It comes from the word couper, meaning to cut. Okay, so coupons, they were the things you cut from the paper to take into the store, right? So that's what it means. It means to cut away. A piece that's cut off is a coupon. That's your coupon. Okay? Like, that's another French word I like to talk about is the word etiquette. Do you guys know the word etiquette? Do you guys know the word etiquette? What does etiquette mean? What is etiquette? And manners, that's right, Taro. Etiquette means manners. But the word etiquette comes from a French word, and it means a ticket. A ticket. Etiquette means a ticket. Why does it mean a ticket? Because a ticket, the word ticket originally meant a piece of paper with things written on it. A ticket, the original meaning is just a piece of paper with things written on it. Now, in the French courts, right? French court, and when I mean court, I mean when you spent time with the king and the queen. If you spent time with the king and the queen, there were many, many rules of behavior and manners, and you could not be there unless you know those rules. So they gave you a little piece of paper. They gave you a piece of paper that had all the rules written on it, and you kept that in your pocket so that you know the rules. That is called etiquette. It's a ticket. It's got all the rules on it. So now etiquette means the manners, but originally it was a piece of paper with the rules on it so that you know how to behave. It's a ticket. Etiquette. A ticket. Lieutenant. Lieutenant is another fun one that I like to talk about. So the word lieutenant, lieu, is a French word that means in place of. In lieu of something means in place of something. And the word tenant, tenant is a person who tends to something. To tend to something means to take care of something or be in charge of something, right? So you are the tenant, you're in charge. So lieutenant means I'm the captain, but I'm busy. I have to go to talk to someone. So when I'm gone, I will put someone in charge and I will say, in lieu of me, you are the tenant. I'm not here. So in place of me, in lieu of me, you are now the tenant. You are the lieutenant. And in French, they sometimes call it lieutenant because the next most important man was the guy standing on your left, right? You're the captain. The guy who is most important to you is standing here, right? Your most important man is on your left. He was your lieutenant. Bountiful. Bountiful. What about the word bountiful? The word bountiful comes from the word bounty, full of bounty. And the word bounty means goodness, virtue, beauty, excellence, all the good things, right? And bounty comes from the old word, the Latin word bonte and the French word bonte and the Latin word bonitatem, which comes from the word bonus, meaning good. Bounty comes from the word meaning good, bonus, bene. Okay? So it's bountiful, it's full of goodness. Full of goodness. Okay? Enough. Let's look at enough very quickly. And there is another word I want to look at too, is answer. Let's look at the word answer after we do enough. So the word enough, let me share my screen again so you guys can see the website. Enough comes from the Old English genoch, which means a significant or sufficient quantity or number of something. Genoch, meaning sufficient. So these G's a long time ago were pronounced kind of more like a right? So the original word was genoch, enough, right? So enough comes from genoch, and that means with or together. Let's see. Meaning to attain or reach. So, yeah, so it means you were able to get enough. You were able to reach what you need to attain. Genoch. Okay, so there you go. There's that one. Is it used to enter or to go into a place? The word ticket, Cindy, yes, ticket is, you need a train ticket to ride the train. You need a plane ticket to ride the plane. You need a movie ticket to see the movie. But what is a ticket? A ticket is a piece of paper. A ticket is a piece of paper also, right? So the word ticket just means a piece of paper. That's all it is. Yeah. The French and the British are classy. Je ne sais quoi. Yes, they have a certain je ne sais quoi. That's right. Landlord. Landlord is an easy one. He's the lord of the land. Lord means master, right? So the lord of the land is the landlord. Okay? Yeah, bonte. That's right. So bountiful is this word, everyone. Bountiful. Let's see. Juvenile. Okay, that's a good one. That's also from Latin Greek. Juvenile comes from the Latin word iuvenilis. Iuvenilis meaning belonging to youth or youthful. So juvenile comes from the Latin word meaning young. Okay, it just means young. That's all. It's the Latin word meaning young. Aromatic. That's a good one. Aromatic, also from Latin. Aromaticus, from the Greek word aromatikos, meaning aroma. Sweet, it means seasoning or sweet spice. Right? So this one hasn't changed its meaning. The original meaning, aroma. It's an old word. Means the spice or smell of something, right? The seasonings that you smell. The aroma is delicious. Okay. Cash. The word cash. It comes from the word case. The word cash comes from the word case because where did you keep your money? You kept it in a case, a money box. Okay, so it comes from the Latin word capsa, meaning a box. Okay, so the original word, now cash means money. Cash means money now, but originally it meant the place where you put your money in. It was the case you put your money in. Okay? Cash. It's the case for money. Okay? Let's see. Who else has some words for me? Let's see. Orange. That's a fun one. Orange. Orange, right? So this word is interesting. Let's see. Originally, it comes from the Arabic word naranj, which comes from the Persian word narang, which comes from the Sanskrit word narangas, right? Which means orange tree. So this one is really, really old. Look, it goes from French. Back before that, it was Latin. Before that, it was Italian. Before that, it was Arabic. And then it was Persian. And then it was Sanskrit. That's an old word, right? Now, what's funny about the word is the original word had an N on the beginning of it, right? Naranj, right? But when we write orange in English, we have that rule that we say, so originally the word was noranj, like this. This is closer to the way it was really spelled. But what happens if we have the rule of an orange, an orange, an orange? So that's what happened to the word an orange. We just dropped the N and we added it because we already have it. We already have it with the letter AN, right? With the letters AN, an orange. So that's why the word orange doesn't have an N in it anymore. Originally, it had an N, but it doesn't anymore. Is Persian more ancient or Arabic? As far as I know, Persian predates Arabic, as far as I know. But don't quote me on that completely because maybe I'm wrong, okay? My understanding is I believe Persian is earlier. Okay? Pistachio, that's a fun one. Let's do pistachio. Pistachio comes from the Italian word pistachio, which comes from the Latin word pistachium, meaning the pistachio nut. That comes from the Greek word pistachion. Again, this one is not changed. Look, so this one comes from Italian, which comes from Latin, which comes from Greek, which comes from Persian. Pista, meaning pistachio in Persian. Okay, so there you go. There's a Persian word, right? Lemon, also, I believe, Persian. Yeah, limun, Persian, right? Arabic, limon, Persian, limon, right? Okay, so there you go. There's another one. That's an English word from Persian. Romantic, that has the word Roman in it, right? So the word romantic now, it means things that are about love and love stories. But the original word romantic meant all the things that are like what the Roman people like. What do the Roman people like? They liked stories about love, and they liked stories about battles and honor, and they liked these stories that had great meaning. They were romantic. Okay, they were what the Romans liked. The Romans liked stories about people doing amazing things. That's romantic. Okay, like the Romans like. Forthcoming, to come forth. Oh, first I want to do answer, because I like this one too. The word answer, everybody. Answer. What does answer mean? What is an answer? What is an answer? And yes, paradise is another Persian word. Paradise is a word that originally meant a beautiful garden, right? Paradisa, I think it was, like the kind of beautiful gardens they made in Iran a long time ago in Persia, right? And that's where we get the word paradise. So the word answer, what does answer mean? What does answer mean? Did I upload the English sources on my website? I did, Afaf. Yes, if you go to my website, you now can find everything you need to study on my website. So an answer is a reply. That's right, Taro. But the word answer, why do we have this W in there? Is there a word, do you know any word that is similar to this? S-W-E-R, swir. Can you think of a word that's almost like the word swir? Almost, not that one. You're close. Not swir. Anyone? Answer. No, not swerve. Ah, there it is. Swear. That's right. Swear. So the word answer originally is talking about the king. When you talk to the king, you have to be honest and truthful to the king. So you swear to the king that these words are true. That is your answer. And meaning in front of. You're in front of the king. You're in front of the king, and meaning in front of, and swear. To swear in front of the king, meaning that's my answer. This is what I believe happened. This is what happened. This is the truth. Okay? To swear in front of the king is your answer. And swear. I like that one, right? That's a cool one. Okay? Let's see. Yes, chess also, and chess also has checkmate, right? Checkmate comes from the Persian word shahmat, right? Meaning the king is captured, or the king's dead, or the king is something, right? Yeah. Cindy, I can pronounce those words. Complexity, confidentiality, creativity, generosity, availability. Okay. Bizarre also. Bizarre is a Arabic Persian word. Bizarre meaning, let's see, so bizarra from the Italian, which comes from the Persian word bazaar, which means just a market. Yeah, Iranian. Yeah, so yeah, it just means a market, right? It's a bazaar. Cottage, let's look at the word cottage. Cottage means a hut, right? It comes from the French word cote, which means, let's see, the Old Norse word. So this is from Northern Europe. The Northern Europeans were the Norse people, and they had the word kot, which means a hut, right? So the original meaning comes from the Old Norse word, which just means a hut, a small house, a cottage. Okay, fortnight. Whoops. Fortnight, a period of 2 weeks. So a fortnight is 14 nights. That's what fortnight means. 14 nights, 2 weeks. Okay, 14. Fortnight. Saffron, okay, the thing that you cook with, right? Saffron comes from the French word saffron, which comes from the Latin word saffronum, which comes from the Arabic word azafaran, which is of unknown origin. Yeah, but there you go. It's an Arabic word. let's look at the word sword. If I remember, well, let me think. Is that what I think it is? I think it is. Yeah. So the word sword is a weapon, right? But the word sword comes from German swerdum, which comes from Swedish svard, which comes from let's see, German svert, and that comes from the word sverlen, which means to hurt. It's a cutting weapon. Yeah. So it comes from the word meaning to hurt with a cutting weapon. It's a sword, right? Sword. Cotton. Let's look at cotton. Cotton comes from the Arabic word kutun, meaning, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but yeah, Arabic. It's a mixture of Arabic and Dutch, keton, or German. So wow, that one is a very mixed word because that product has a very mixed history. Right? Everyone used cotton. So everyone had a word for cotton. So this one, there are some times when you find a word that every culture shared that same product or had that same product. So it's really hard to know whose was first. Right? Portuguese has algado, Spanish algodón, Italian cotone, Provençal, French coton, German catun. Right? So there's many languages that have the word cotton. Yeah. This class is Persianized now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, before I forget, let me show you where I'm getting all these from. This website is called Etym Online, Etymology Dictionary, right here. But if you want to find this, all you have to do is go to my website. My website is right here. Let me give it to you. Here is my website. If you go to my website and you sign up for my website, then you can find over here on this page right here. Oh, let me share the right tab. Here's my website. Sorry. This is my website. A Friend in Every Corner English Coaching. And if you go over here to this button right here, resources, if you click on resources, look here. This is where everything you need to study is right here. Everything you need to study English is right here. So if you want to study reading, click on reading, and all of the best resources for reading are right here. Click on those and you will open to a website that's free about reading. Okay? Or if you want to study vocabulary, click on vocabulary. And here are all the resources you need to study vocabulary. Okay, so if you sign up for my website, you can find all these resources for studying English right here on my website. And you can also find my schedule of live streams right here too. Look, here are all my live streams and voice rooms. My schedule is on my website. Okay, you can sign up for everything, find out what they're all about. Like later tonight, I have a voice room, Common English Mistakes with Teacher Mark, right? So we're going to talk about some of the most common mistakes in English. Okay, so go to my website. You can also book private lessons with me if you want private lessons. Then I have private lessons for 30 and 60 minutes. Okay, there's my schedule, and there are my resources here. Okay, it's banned for your country, really? I'm surprised. Nobody from Iran mentioned that to me before. There are a few people in China who can't see it, but most people in China can. So I'm kind of surprised. So anyway, go to my website, AFIEC English. Okay, let me give it to you one more time. It's right here. Okay, there it is, AFIEC English. Or if you want to follow my YouTube channel, you can go to my YouTube channel right there. Okay. All right. And guess what? I'm really late today. I was supposed to do an hour and a half, and I did about 2 hours. So it's time to go. It's time to go. But I am here 10 times a week. I do 5 live streams and 5 voice streams every week. Okay? I am a real teacher. I have been on Hello Talk for almost 12 years. I have 78,000 followers. almost 1 million people have watched me around the world. Almost 1 million people. Hussein wants to know, is it free? My website is free. Yes, my lessons are not free, but my website is free, and all the resources on there are free. Okay? Yes, if you go there, I tried to find all the free ones. Okay, there are a few resources that I gave you that they have a free version and a paid version, right? But you don't have to use the paid one. You can just use the free one, right? So, yeah, like I said, I've been here for 12 years. I've got 78,000 followers. I've almost 1 million people have watched me. I am a real English teacher. I am certified. I have my TEFL certification. I have 15 years of experience. And I love to teach. So come see me again. All right. Follow and please share. Also, remember, this is work. This is work. I'm trying to help you. Help me. Help me. Okay. So share, make a post, tell some people about me, share my streams with other people, share my website with people who you know, who you think might want to get some lessons or check out my resources. Okay. That's it for me today, guys. I got to go. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. Thank you guys for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live in the world. And remember to be a language warrior. All right? I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye-bye.